Okay, thanks everyone for coming. My name is Ray Lutz and I'm with Citizens Oversight Projects. We've been sponsoring a new nonprofit organization called the SaveECPAC Foundation. And I'm really here today with respect to the project they're working on, which has to do with this theater that we're standing right in front of right now. It's the SaveECPAC Theater, or East County Performing Arts Center. This theater has been closed for over 2.5 years now. It was first closed in January of 2010. The city had it slated for a $4.3 million upgrade, and they said it was going to be done in 18 months. That never happened. They completely built the safety center, the police and fire station across the way. They completely landscaped around the building, spending $2.1 million on landscaping, but they didn't do one thing to the theater, and it's still sitting here closed. In March of this year, they had a meeting with a gentleman named Neil E. Arthur, and his proposal was to tear down this building and replace it with a hotel. The building itself, built in 1977, was mostly funded by the Grossmont College District and a whole bunch of private donations, a whole bunch of blood, sweat, and tears from individuals to get this thing going. And if you look inside, you see stars on the walls of people that have donated money to keep this thing going. And the city has just let it sit here and flounder and do nothing. And then when they proposed tearing it down, we said in the community, enough is enough. We have to see a better way to keep this theater operational and to keep it here for the public's use. So over the last several months, this group of community members came together, met 10 times, spending hours and hours of time at home and on the telephone, and visiting the theater. We actually had a tour here. We had probably half a dozen different visits to the theater to figure out what it would take to get this thing running again. We then prepared a fairly lengthy proposal for the city. Now, in May, they had a workshop to go over the details of how they were going to rip this theater down with that developer. And at that time, it became clear that tearing this public asset down just to build a hotel, which has questionable value in this location, when you can drive 20 minutes and get to the beach, the question is who's going to stay here in El Cajon unless you have a theater to go to. So until the theater is running, they're not going to be able to have a viable hotel. Even though I think everybody'd love to have a 4-star hotel in El Cajon, but not right here. At that meeting, we said that we thought we could get this thing running for far less than the $4.3 million. And the new city council member, Tony Ambrose, asked us to bring in a proposal. We spent the next month, since that May 22nd meeting, preparing this 60-page document detailing what we think is a good plan. Now, let me just offer a disclaimer. We didn't have time to do all of the discovery and the details that would be required to really find out everything there is to know about what it's going to cost to upgrade this, including getting bids and so forth. So we took best guesses for the repairs, and it came out to around $400,000 to get this thing reopened. That's about 10% of the $4.3 million they had before. And so we couldn't, we don't know why really it has been sitting here floundering for over 2.5 years. The other thing that we're proposing is to run it without any significant subsidy from the city. Now, all of the operators have received a subsidy of some kind, and especially the utilities, which we're planning to continue to ask for. But the last operator asked for a $350,000 per year subsidy, which is a little bit less than $1,000 a day for the city to have this nice theater. We think that's a bargain, but the city still had trouble with it because that operator really didn't come through with the sort of headliners that everyone was hoping for and that we'd like to see in the theater. In our proposal, we're planning to change this into a arts and entertainment venue to cater to more of the mainstream types of acts that the public really wants to come and see. We're talking about acts that you might see at maybe Humphreys or 4th and B, House of Blues. These can all come here. People can have a great time. I envision that we're going to have more trouble with crowd control than anything else of trying to keep people under control out here as they try to come in to see these big acts. And why can't it be that way? There is no good reason. One key thing that we also want to mention is that we will be emphasizing concessions in this proposal, i.e. alcoholic beverages such as beer and wine and cocktails. We have the El Cajon Brewery right down the street, and we want to make sure that we can sell and have available a variety of beers that they make in the facility. Right now, there is no such thing available. Even though we have a brewery in town, why not sell their product here? So today, what we are doing is finally, we have this version of the proposal that we're going to be submitting to the city at this time, and they are going to be distributing and hopefully studying it. We're asking for the same courtesy that they gave to Neil E. Arthur when he wanted to rip this down. They gave him a 6-month negotiating period. And we'd like some sort of a negotiating period to work with the city to see if we can't keep it. One big thing coming up later this year is the centennial celebration of El Cajon, 100-year anniversary of this city. Now, do they want to have this theater sitting here, an empty hulk, basically a black eye on what the city is doing? I don't think so. I think we want to get this thing opened up before that November celebration and have acts in here at that time. And so that's what our proposal will also provide. So as I said, today we're going to be taking this up at 3:30, meeting with the city manager and charting the course for how it's going to be processed within the city in terms of distributing it to the city council. And then we are requesting a workshop. They had one scheduled for the demolition project on Tuesday the 26th, and that's been canceled. Maybe we can get that one back into place. After we have our workshop, then our hope is that we will be able to work with the city and get into more of the details about exactly how much it'll cost and what the plan will be for the renovation as we roll it out. I'd like to say one other thing about some of the renovations that we're planning. We are planning to increase the size and scope of the backstage patio, which is behind the theater, in between the theater and the Main Street. And in this backstage patio, have an additional concessions area, place to kick back and relax before and after the show, enjoying your refreshments, and also extra men's and women's restrooms out there so that people in the theater when it gets bottlenecked during the intermission, those attendees can go out and find a place to use the restroom. We're not saying that this is exactly how this building is going to be. This is a concept, but we know the space is there and we know it can be done, and it's this type of thing that's needed. El Cajon has no public restrooms anywhere in the city. They have all these new parks and venues and new stages here and there that people use, but there are no public restrooms at all. And we'd like to suggest that this is a way to make those public restrooms available for everything else that happens in the city, car shows, concerts and stuff on the green, this type of thing that they don't have now. There is a whole lot of other great ideas in here, and our hope is that the city will take this seriously and they'll give it us a fair shot to save this theater and reopen it for the benefit of the public. The people behind this whole proposal, many of them were active in the original the original building, getting the building built and getting it outfitted, which happened in 1977. These same families are behind this. It turns out my father founded the Grossmont Community Concert Association in 1947, and it was the precursor to the various concert associations that used this theater when it was first built. They moved to the Joan Kroc Center, and it's going to be difficult to get them to come back unless they can see that this is a stable theater that's not going to kick them out again. We got to have a firm commitment from the city to stick with this theater, and not year after year after year getting into a bit of a contest over whether it should be folded or not, or closed, or torn down. This is ridiculous. I'd like to allow several other people that were behind this to come up to the microphone and say whatever they'd like to about it and their vision for the theater. First, I'd like to introduce Ben Colascio from El Cajon. Come on up, Ben. Everybody welcome. Thank you, Ben.
I'd like to echo what Ray said, but first I just want to say that this is a better idea. It's a better idea to save the theater than to tear it down at this time in this economy. It's a better idea that we can give the community something to do, that our children may appreciate the arts, that people have a venue in the heart of El Cajon to go to. All these people here worked very hard. Like Ray said, we gave up our evenings and long hours and emailing to put together this proposal that we all feel is a better way. This proposal will save the community a ton of money, millions of dollars, and it'll give people something to do. And it's in El Cajon, and why not? We all have this better idea that we can bring forth. And like Ray said, we hope that the city considers this idea and we can push forth with it, and we can have this theater reopened. The theater being reopened has a positive effect on all the businesses in downtown El Cajon. So this is going to have a chain reaction of local economy that's going to support local economy for the better, and we just want to see that grow. And thank you very much. I think.
Could you just spell your name?
Can you spell your last name?
Yeah.
K-A-L-A-S-H-O. Ben Colascio.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Ben is representative of many of the Chaldean community out here, which is extremely strong, and it's a segment of the community in here in El Cajon area that should be using this theater more, and we want to see that happening. So yes, next I'd like to introduce, and I also like to say as an aside that Ben's running for city council. Is that right, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah. Now the other person I'd like to have come up is Dwayne Swainston, and he's also running for city council, and he's been really helpful in getting this as well. Come on up, Dwayne.
You could spell your first and last name too, please.
Okay, Dwayne, D-U-A-N-E, Swainston, S-W-A-I-N-S-T-O-N. Okay, I'm very happy with the proposal. It's a culmination of a lot of hard work, a lot of time that went into this by a diverse group of concerned citizens to get this theater open again. And from my standpoint, it's the best option that we could hope for. It's a benefit for the city, it's a benefit for the local community, the businesses. It'll bring people down to use the facilities and the restaurants and showcase downtown El Cajon. There's been a lot of good stuff that's happened in downtown El Cajon, but not everybody knows about it because we have nothing to draw them down here. So this is a draw for them. And it services the needs, the arts and entertainment needs of San Diego County. There's no venues this far east that will service, arts and entertainment. There's other options as far as the casinos, but nothing like this. So that's why I say this proposal is the best option for the city. Thanks.
Thank you, Dwayne, and that's a good point to make. We, as part of our plan, we did do a comparative analysis of other venues in San Diego County, looking at venues such as Humphreys downtown and 4th and B, the really big venues such as the Cricket Amphitheater, and then the smaller venues such as Siquan, and the medium or sort of more ritzy venues like the Balboa Theater. We think that this venue is very competitive with these other venues in terms of its acoustics. It rates very, very well in terms of acoustics, much better than other venues. Even the California Center for the Arts in Escondido does not have as good of acoustics as this theater does. On the other hand, we'd like to also embrace some more mainstream events that don't necessarily need such good acoustics, but will bring in that younger crowd that wants to stand up in front of the stage and root and holler and dance around. And so we want to change the venue a little bit to embrace those types of performances, in addition to the pure performing arts performances. The prior operator, Christian Community Theater and Christian Youth Theater, had excellent programs for the youth in terms of doing theater, but they really did not know how to embrace adult entertainment. I'm not talking about, you know, F Street Bookstore. I'm talking about theater and so forth for adults and not just for kids and families. And that is something that you see at 4th and B and other places. Young adults, we're talking about between the ages of 20 to 35. This is the age group that mostly goes to theater types of performances, in addition to those that are all retired at the top. We've already got the top covered. We want to get down there and cover the more youthful concert goer. I'd like to now introduce a gentleman who has been very, very helpful and probably the #1 volunteer in terms of getting stuff done, Paul Cruz.
Thank you very much. My name is Paul Cruz. K-R-U-Z-E is how my last name is spelled. Every community has a center point. El Cajon has a burgeoning arts community, but an arts community needs a center, and the East County Performing Arts Center has been a part of the community now for over 33 years. But now is a time for the El Cajon City Council to work with a viable plan in order to open up the theater. Our group has now been meeting over the past 10 weeks, and we have been a lot of emails and a lot of phone calling, but the thing is that admittedly the center has had its problems, and our group has tried to look at all the problems that have encountered, been a part of the that the center has encountered over the past 33 years. You might call it 20/20 hindsight. The proposal which we're making is a very good one. It also addresses the needs of the arts community in El Cajon, but also is a very good way for the city of El Cajon to draw and bring back the business that has been lost since the center was closed almost 3 years ago. So I would urge, and I would like to also take this opportunity to thank the city of El Cajon for assisting us in trying to draft this proposal.
Paul, can I ask you something? You and I had a conversation a few months ago, and I know that Ray mentioned you had a tour. You know, I'm going to borrow from the Chicken Little, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I had been reading for years, they said ceiling tiles are falling down, but you said you took a tour and that's not the case.
Actually, when the city engaged a theater consultant in 2009, that he came up with a proposal, and it addressed that there are roof problems, but you know, it is not a known problem in El Cajon that we have a lot of rain here, and a lot of the problems can be fixed incrementally rather than dumping $4.3 million as was proposed in the original proposal by Kurt Swanson to the city of El Cajon.
Let me try to address that question in a different way. They did have a problem with the ceiling. The cloud, the acoustical cloud that was up at the ceiling was falling, and that was fixed in an emergency repair program that was put into place roughly in about 2007. And this front area was also fully repaired, and I see it's all scratched up now at that time. So we would want to be repairing this front area. The main problem that they've been complaining about in terms of the roof is a little bit of a leak on one side. I'll tell you, if you went into the theater, you would never be able to just find it unless someone told you exactly where it was. And we figure it's not going to rain for a while, so they can maybe put that off. But They said $800,000 to repair the roof. Another contractor said he looked at it and it's only at most $100,000 to repair it. Most of the roof is metal. They have the roof, it comes off and it goes into a catch area, and then there's a drain. And what happens is these trees, the needles come off the trees, go into there and plug up the drain, and then it starts to overfill and go into the down into the side over the spillway. There's no way for the water to get out of these catch areas as a worst case, like if that happens, to, you know, if they don't clean them out. So we're proposing that they put in scuppers, okay, which I didn't even know about that term, but it means a place for the water just to come out. Even if that drain is plugged up, it would still get off of the roof and then not go in and hurt the inside. But basically, we went in and we were astounded at how good the theater looked on the inside. It does have wear and tear, and we have some specific programs, and as we say, about $400,000 of repairs, including the roof. And I think then we can reopen the doors. That consultant said, for example, he wanted to spend $750,000 to improve the lights, the theatrical lights. I just talked to a consultant yesterday, in fact, who said there's no way he could spend more than $300,000 even if he put in the best lighting system that they usually put in. He says, I don't understand that. And so we're all scratching our head wondering how they came up with this $4.3 million program. And the only thing that we can think of, it was some sort of a way to blight the theater, to make it come down in order to cash in on the redevelopment money that has since been taken away by Governor Brown. And so they no longer have this slush fund of future redevelopment money to pull in. Now we have to get down and say, look, let's get real, folks. Let's not do the $4.3 million glorious upgrade. Let's just do what it takes to open these doors. Get acts in here and bring people to El Cajon. This is a great thing for this area. It is a reason for people to come to El Cajon and to go to all these restaurants. If you talk to the restaurateurs and the other businesses in El Cajon, they counted on this theater running. That's the reason they came here. And it's been closed for 2.5 years. They are desperate to have this thing open again. This is going to help the downtown district. This is going to help the entire area out here, which most of the theater goers are actually not El Cajon residents. They are around El Cajon, in the hills around El Cajon, the Mount Helix area, Rancho San Diego, up to Alpine, up to Poway and other areas. These are the places that people come in here to go to the theater.
Did you outline in there where you propose the $400,000 could come
Yes.
from, should come from?
Where it comes from? It would, no, that
Or do you have any ideas on where the money would
well,
come
they saved $700,000 by closing it for 2 years and not paying the other people $350,000 a year to keep it open. So they've got $700,000 there. They do have the money to do this. If they were gonna, and they were shaking their head very, happily when they heard that it was only going to cost $400,000 to fix it up. That's a lot better than $4.3 million. We can sharpen our pencil and refine that number and figure out exactly what it's going to cost, and maybe it'll be a little bit more, a little bit less, depends on what we actually end up doing. Maybe they'll say, yeah, we want to actually spend more on this and actually fix it up and make a better front on it or something, and we'd be happy to help them with that. But we just want to say, fix the roof, fix the maintenance, we need to do some painting and so forth, and fix this front. The orchestra lift that goes up and down, we're told that needs repair. There are some changes to, really the sound system is fine, and most of the lighting, I understand, is the lights, the theatrical lights are okay, but there is some jury rigging that was going on before. There are some limitations to this venue in terms of doing full theatrical touring events here because it doesn't have enough fly space, which is when they lift the scenery up. It was designed without the full 2.5 times the theater, stage opening, so that they can pull those up. So we're still researching that to find out. In terms of trying to figure out the city budget and how to find that money, we can help them with that if that's what they want us to do. We can look into their budget and try to find the $400,000. They just spent $2.1 million on this landscaping that's around the theater. It's mind-boggling that they couldn't find $400,000 out of that $2.1 million to fix what needs to be fixed in the theater and reopen it. Mind-boggling.
Maybe Ben can find it.
Yeah, you know, if they can't find it,
Also, we should say that it was going to be $2 million to demo this piece.
yeah, even if they demo it, $2 million just to rip it down. So
$2 million
any which way you go, and then they were planning to basically give this away to this developer for a hotel and be on the hook as a hotelier. For if the hotel doesn't go well, then they would have to be doing renting out rooms here. And what would that bring to El Cajon? Probably prostitution or things, because the hotel wouldn't do well, and then you'd have a bunch of vacant rooms, and it'd be turned into a, you know, maybe a homeless center or something. It doesn't work unless you have a real attraction for people to want to come. My theory is, let the hotels come when people want to stay here. You don't have to force fit a hotel into El Cajon if the economics of the area doesn't drive it. And if the economics drives hotels to be here, they'll show up because the hoteliers have plenty of money to put hotels in, and they will just get one here wherever it makes sense. And they will subsidize it. These big hotel chains have subsidized hotels through losses for years and years in order to get those sites. Until we have this theater running, our point of view in our group was first open the theater, get it running. It's going to take a year or two to get it back on its feet, because a lot of the people that were coming to this theater, that were renting it out and so forth, have said, well, if they're not going to make the commitment to keep it open, we're not going to do it either. Any more questions?
No, it's 3:30, so I guess you gotta bring it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Can we shoot a copy of it, or Paul, can we shoot just a copy of the front?
Yeah.
Do you not want us to shoot?
You wanted to shoot a copy?
Sure.
Do you want to get a copy?
If you have an extra one, we'll take it.
I do. I have extras for
Okay.
the vast number of people that are here. Let me just hand each one of you a copy.
So you hope to take up the meeting space that was technically going to be on the 26th, you said?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be scheduled for us.
Okay, so you just, what you hope to accomplish today is that you're going to have this done.
Wow, this is a cake.
And then Tony Ambrose, who asked us to do it, he's actually also in charge of scheduling. So he'll decide what the schedule is all around that.
Right. Jennifer, Sean said.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Paul, for inviting us.
Yeah.
So I should follow them up or something?
Okay, so it's 3:30.
I don't need that.
I'm sorry. I think she said Channel 7.
We're going to give you a shot of you guys walking in.
Do I know Derek, please? Yes. I think she said Channel 7.
Oh, yes.
Channel 7 and where else?
Yeah, I just saw a parking spot. I'm like,
I thought there were two, right?
Okay, we need to go on up. I need to enlist someone's help. Who can help me? I just need you to take my camera and shoot the camera. You want to do it? Okay.
You can keep it on
You want a campaign?
Is it
You just got
a slide or movie?
Yes, it's movie. Just look through there and just keep it kind of still, and you're fine. Okay.
Where's the,
No.
right here?
Just no. Just all you got to do is point this. It's already running.
It's already running.
Yeah. Just point it. Yeah. Okay. Ben, why don't you come with us? Don't worry about that stuff.
You want me to watch your stuff? I'll watch your stuff. Okay.
How y'all doing, man? All right. You went over there?
No, we need to just need to be documented because then they can't say, you know, you just got stuff.
we go.
Just take 5 more minutes. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so we're going up to the city manager's office. You need to get a badge. Everybody has to get one.
Somebody get a badge for me, please.
Yes, we will do that.
Phil was walking in. Let's get it all together. Okay, let's go on up.
Did I get a badge? Somebody wait on me.
Okay, we'll wait on you.
Do you have my badge?
You can just set the camera down right there. Just keep it recording. It's like 2 seconds.
For what?
Oh,
yeah.
You can put it down.
Just write the number. Hello.
Pretty good.
Building permits, I have no clue.
Oh, okay, yeah, building's on the 3rd floor, just write your name. Okay.
Saying, we don't even get our open.
Thank you.
Working on it.
Yes, what we tell them.
Morning. Okay, this Dan right there is good. Okay, here's the big deal. We are hereby submitting our proposal with the cover sheet. I've got second one, so we can get one of them inscribed for us.
Is it okay if I just stamp it with the
Yeah.
city manager stamp? It just says
Absolutely.
received, city manager's
That's good.
office?
Mhm.
Okay,
Perfect.
so
That's
there's your copy, and
excellent.
our copy.
And we do have